Who are you channeling from Mike Ehrmentraut, Jonathan? Who are you channeling for this character?
Well, before we get into that,
Okay.
I mean, you're talking about, if I may.
Please.
If I may.
Please.
You're talking about all these motor geniuses, all these great athletes.
Yes.
You know, and you go through it all the time. Now, I've been watching the local news, and these kids that have not had a chance to graduate, they're highlighting the soccer teams and the
Yes.
field hockey teams, and and wonderful kids and talented kids. Now, I would really like to see them. I want them to spotlight and bring on all the guys that were seniors that were still playing on the junior varsity. I'd like to see some of the kids that are having to sling hamburgers just to get through school. I'd like to highlight some of these people.
Okay.
You know, that's my pet peeve for the day.
And that your pet peeve for the day is that people who are not getting the spotlight, but the shaft in what's going on in the world should get the spotlight.
Well, you know, I mean, just the guys, even if they're not getting the shaft, the women and the men that are in the trenches just slugging along, and it starts in high school. It starts before high school. Yeah. Anyway, how do I channel Mike Ehrmentraut?
No, it's okay. Hold on a second. Hold on. So before we turn there, then. So did you play sports in high school? Did you try at some point to get into sports or in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, I mean, I play. That's how I. Yes, I played a lot of sports very poorly.
Okay.
I could sit on a bench in baseball, and I had a coach that when I said I wanted to try out for the junior class play.
Yes.
He said, you know, and all I was doing was sitting on a bench. I mean, and he said to me, Banks, he said, you know, all actors are. And
come on.
I thought, well, yes, no, I tell you. So, and at my 40th reunion, they have you fill out a thing about who inspired you.
Yes.
And so I put down, I said, you know, I'll never forget Coach Sisson's words. And I really do hope the miserable was still alive to read it, you know?
So when I ask who are you channeling Mike Ehrmentraut, are you channeling yourself at any point, Jonathan?
Well, you know, I mean, no, because that would make it, you know, that would make it too grandiose. Most of the fights I've ever been in my life, I've gotten the kicked out.
Jonathan, we're on live television and radio right now.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. And so the poop kicked out of me. Thank you very much.
Okay.
No, you know, I mean, Mike, we all want to be Mike Ehrmentraut. He gets things done. He survives. I don't know. Yeah. Who do I channel? I don't know who I channel. You stay alive long enough, I guess you see a lot of things. And I do have friends that had to do things that I didn't do. You know, we're
Sure.
part of that Vietnam generation that was a lot of guys were fodder, and some very close friends of mine who are still friends to this day. They went, and they carried my. I'm going to bleep it out. I'm sorry, because it's just the way I feel.
No, I know.
You know, whether I agree with that war or I don't, my friends had to carry my. And you know, I went off to university, and some of those guys who are my dear friends, I still, there's a part of them that's in Mike Ehrmentraut.
Jonathan Banks here on the Rich Eisen Show, live on NBCSN, Sirius XM, and YouTube.com/Rich Eisen Show. So we had Giancarlo Esposito on the show a couple of times, and he said there were some scenes when he would read it on the page, he knew it would be intense for him to actually act out. And then when he did act out, he needed some time after it's all over. Have you had similar scenes like that, either in Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, Jonathan?
Well, you know, I don't mean to be a smart aleck, but it's I let go of things pretty quick. At least I think I do.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way, you know. There's one scene where I talk about causing the death of my son. That you just don't tap into that and then just walk away from it.
Right.
But no. And Giancarlo, let me tell you, Giancarlo is the antithesis of Gus. Giancarlo is so full of life and ebullient and exuberant and having a good time. He's the best.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.